Oh, by hook or by crook, we will come at you on Is It Fast Live. Welcome to the weekly live magazine show from Is It Fast, where we bring you our favourite smattering of all the stories from the world of motorsport, automotive, and things in between. Sometimes they fly, sometimes they swim, but either way, we bring you stories that win. It's another week here at Is It Fast, and if one stew isn't enough with just the most amazing lyrical rhyming skills, we've got another stew. How you doing, mate? I see you're still in Edinburgh.
I am, yes, still in the childhood bedroom here. My mum's going to be absolutely livid because we're sitting here on the podcast and I've not made my bed. So I'm going to have to position myself so you can't exactly see. Loving the new intro video. Where the hell was I? Am I just not important enough to be in the intro video? I've clearly been getting fan mail. You're trying to keep me in my place. This is the only thing I can imagine.
It's a classic power move. It's a classic power move. And just like all power moves, we have to keep them luxurious and meaningful, which is the theme of tonight's show. Tonight, we have got luxury coming out of our ears, our silky, silky ears, because on today's show, we have got news from Range Rover. That's right, there is a brand new urban explorer coming to the world of Chelsea and Kensington, which is probably where they'll end up. There's a French guy has won a motorbike championship for the first time. We talk about the price of petrol. We talk about, which I'm hoping I won't labour over too much. We have a new touring car champion that looks identical to the one that we had last year. And of course, we talk about things on your wrist that help you tell the time. It's an awfully packed show this evening. I think you would agree, which I am excited about.
We just need to crack on.
Genuinely, today is one of those shows where we do absolutely need to crack on. So the fewer wise cracks that you give me, the better would be. I know. That was a mean thing to say, despite how accurate it may be. But we start this week. That was mean. I do apologise.
I'm not the start video. Not allowed to say anything really humorous. God.
Well, that's on
back
you,
in your place, other Stu.
Yeah. That's got nothing to do with me. We start this week with news from Range Rover. It isn't very often that we get a brand new Range Rover. This, however, is one of those momentous special times in the world of cars and car fans. And as you can see here, the new Range Rover 5th generation has been released. Now, last week there were images of this leaked, naughty internet, but didn't do it any justice. So, the new Range Rover, 50 years of evolution. And some of this, I warn you now, will come directly from the press junket. However, as you can see, visually, internally and externally, this is undeniably Range Rover, but a Range Rover for the future. New modern luxury, they're calling it, defined by presence and formality, achieved by the harmony of proportions, surface, and lines. What I think that means is, check out its arse. It looks incredible, I think, from absolutely every angle. But then when you see here as well the internals, they've taken it with a whole new underpinning, a whole new chassis, as they say in the United States, but chassis, as we will say here. We've got dynamic agility, they're calling it, but essentially all-wheel steering. So the front and the back wheels will do steering for you, which means it has the turning circle of a Ford Focus, even though this car is around about 5 meters long. So there we go. That is an absolute turn up for the books. Makes it super duper in all kinds of situation. And of course, because it is a Range Rover, you can go off terrain with it. because let's be honest, if you've got a Range Rover, you're going to want to go to the point to point. The interior has had quite a shake-up. The infotainment system has got Alexa now, so all you need is an Amazon account and you can ask Alexa a few things and she'll presumably answer back. Internally, you've got ultra efficient leather and kind of all the beautiful luxury things that go in there to basically mean it's more sustainable. That's basically what I'm getting at in a rather uneloquent and unluxurious and un-Range Rover way. But it is fundamentally a Range Rover and it therefore is fundamentally luxurious. They talk a lot about ceramic in this. So the gear selector there is ceramic if you go for the SV version, which is what they're showing us now. Incredible piece of engineering. So the LEDs, for example, on the back, they don't actually face outwards. They face inwards with prism mirrors, which is crazy, right? But it does mean that the whole thing is just completely and totally sleek and full of lines. Even there, the back, you can't see where the divides are for the windows. So even though there was obviously the essentially the vacuum packing to stop you getting covered in water, is all hidden and tucked away. Now, because it is a brand new chassis, brand new underpinnings, it does mean we're getting a range of new ways of propelling yourself. Of course, the biggest thing is that by 2024, this particular Range Rover will be available as an electric, fully electric model. You can, of course, get this as electric plug-in and mild plug-in as well. Available from 94,400 quid all the way up to, well, I mean, name your price, but 130 grand plus as soon as you go through the autobiography range, which is just incredible. And of course, you've got the SV range as well, which is 2 in the back, 2 in the front. It's available for the first time ever as a 7-seater as well. And they have said at Range Rover that the 2 people right at the back, it is not a poor relation. You're not going to be stuck at the back as a punishment, but you are basically going to be as comfortable as anybody else sitting in any other part of the cabin. A huge range of paints are available, the biggest range of paints ever available on a Range Rover from factory standard as well. And there's just so much to go on about with this new range that I can't do it justice. All I will say is, from my perspective, this is the single best looking Range Rover I think that's ever been released in terms of comfort, in terms of rideability, in terms of sustainability. I think that they have done an incredible job because it is so hard. I can only imagine how hard it is, in fact, for the boys and girls at Range Rover to better themselves every single time. And this has made me want a Range Rover. And I've only ever wanted a Range Rover Sport because I'm that kind of idiot guy. But aesthetically, look at the inside of this, man. Look at it. It's insane.
Absolutely beautiful. Truly is. Yeah, I went away and made myself a cup of tea. I came back, you were still talking about the Range Rover. It is absolutely beautiful. You're 100% right. Sadly, the leaked pictures online were spot on. This has been developed over 5 years, 7 million hours of testing and programming, ready for its market launch. They reckon spring next year. Each model will be available as a fully electric model by the end of the decade. Now, that's not that far away, all things considered. But what I like about this is the distinctive silhouette of the classic Range Rover is fundamentally still intact. This is good. We were talking last week about Ford losing their Fordiness. None of this nonsense over at Range Rover. Absolutely beautiful. It's got a very clean design, almost kind of concept-like. But you're not getting bombarded with these kind of useless lines that you're seeing in quite a lot of the other evolutionary models that you're seeing other manufacturers coming out with. The structure made up of 80% aluminium, but with extensive use of steel in key areas for improved crash protection, which is fantastic. I'm really gutted that you pointed out the bit about the backlights because I saw that as well. They are the back of this car is absolutely beautiful. It really is. It's almost like this seamless kind of tailgate kind of cluster side of thing on it. It is a Porsche tank It's impractical, but God, I want one. And I did say Porsche tank there. How much was it?
Starting at 94,400 quid. But that'll be the D300 spec, so the entry spec, probably with really naff wheels, all the way up to, in theory, 130 odd grand if you go for the all singing, all dancing. They sell, I think last year or something like that, there was 60,000 Range Rovers sold. So it's a huge underpinning to JLR. Like Land Rover and Land Rover need these to sell. This is a key part of them making money and staying alive, and so they have to get it right.
I think they've smashed this out of the park. This is kind of grand slam, to use a bit of a baseball term. With that kind of price, though, I would like to open it up to anybody in the Is It Fast podcast world. If anyone would like to buy a kidney, please get in touch in the comments.
You reckon your kidneys are worth 90 grand?
Well, my liver's definitely not. One used liver. Yeah.
Heavily used.
Oi. It's even little things like the door handles popping out. It's the minute details that make these cars the difference, isn't it?
Yeah.
You're quite right to wax so lyrical about this. It was worth the build up. The launch last night was absolutely fantastic. Even just kind of sitting at home, you felt part of the experience. You were there, you were excited, you wanted to be part of it. Well done, Range Rover.
Yeah, 100%. Well done. Smashed it out of the park. Great event, great launch, and great motor. Frankly, I think they've done an incredible job. I would not want to be in charge of following up a Range Rover model every time, because I tell you now, it's always just such an act to follow. Well done. The new Range Rover. What do you think at home? We would be thrilled to hear your thoughts. We are obviously giving it the thumbs up of approval because, let's be honest, it's great. Yeah.
It is. It's absolutely super. Yeah.
Absolutely super duper. So there you have it.
You've tuned into Is It Fast with both Stuarts. Aren't you lucky? Yes, you are.
Tuned in with both stews. But we go from the world of pure luxury to the less luxurious world of sweaty leather and bikes. Last week, the MotoGP was won by a Frenchman for the first time ever. Mr. Quadraro, Fabien, well done, très bien à vous. He brought home the MotoGP title for the very first time, both for himself and for a Frenchman, which is quite... I actually found it quite surprising that a French guy had never won the MotoGP before, considering the success they've had on four wheels in a number of different disciplines. But with one in, another has to come out. And as we welcome a brand new champion to the world of MotoGP, we have to say goodbye to il dottore, il professore, Rossi, basically. Valentino Rossi is, that's it. He's done in the MotoGP. He's been a worthy champion, absolute legend. But just a reminder that in the celebrating of Quadrado getting the overall victory for the championship, it's time to say goodbye to Rossi. In the MotoGP, he did say that he's not retiring from the world. He's just not going to be racing in MotoGP. But there we have it. MotoGP won by a new dude, which is great. Like, super, super good.
Yeah, age just 22. I think it's fair to say that he's probably still got another couple of titles stuffed up his leather sleeves for later on. You correctly said, first rider from France to win it. But even more interestingly, the first rider not to hail from Spain in a decade for winning it.
Really? They love it out there in Spain, don't they?
Oh, they really do, yeah. But across the season, worthy winner, 16 races, claimed 10 podiums with 5 victories. So, yeah, absolutely fantastic. But he's still only the 6th youngest rider to take the biggest prize in the sport.
Which just goes to show, it's kind of like when
22,
you look across, 22. like, you're still a baby, mate, and to still not to be the youngest chap to have done it. It's kind of like gymnasts, isn't it? They get to their prowess at like 16. Or maybe MotoGP riders are kind of 19, maybe because they bounce better.
Yeah.
I mean, let's be honest, they spend a lot of time not on their bike. I mean, someone's going to pick me up on that. Obviously, they spend a lot of time on the bike. They don't fall off every 5 minutes. But you can watch a race of any biking description and at least one geezer is flying across using his chin as a brake. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, which is what makes it so
they just seem to kind of like skid with the speed and then get up. Yeah, it is very much a young man's game. You do have to be able to bounce.
Yeah.
But he just was the best rider in the current series. One that really made the difference for the Yamaha camp. In 2019, he was able to gain his experience, took his lessons from his mistakes. But with a proper mindset, good Yamaha setup, there we go. The guy's made it.
Good.
And as I've always said, they're not dangerous if you know how to ride them, and neither are motorcycles. So well done to him.
Well done indeed. Yeah, it's been a cracking season. Well up there, well worth it. I'm not going to say it was vintage, but it was certainly pretty entertaining. I think actually we touched on it last week with the British Superbikes. I think overall motorsport, two-wheeled motorsport this season has been pretty ruddy impressive, if I'm honest. So tell us in the comments, do you think he was the right man? Are you sad to see Valentino Rossi leave our screens for MotoGP? And where do you think he is going to end up? That is also something that I'm quite interested to see. Maybe he's going to go to something on four wheels, which could be a turn up for the books. There is a great bit of footage.
There's a rumour that he's going to be on next season's Strictly Come Dancing.
I love it. Dancing with the Stars with Valentino Rossi. He's quite a small chap, so he'd be quite nimble on his feet, I imagine.
That'd be pretty decent, yeah.
He got to be, ain't you? It's one of those things. He's I was going to make a million jokes about dancing in leather, but I don't think it's necessarily appropriate at this stage. But congratulations, brand new MotoGP champion.
Hi, I'm Daniel Rowbottom, racing the British Touring Car Championship with Team Dynamics, and you're watching Is It Fast?
Motorsport, quite a tough thing to do without fuel. And those of us who are living in the UK the last couple of months, we know that fuel has been at a premium. So probably around about 3 or 4 weeks ago, we had the inverted commas fuel crisis, where everyone ran to a petrol station, filled their car up when they didn't need to, therefore sucking this nation dry of the go juice that we all need in order to travel around. And this week, the RAC kindly pointed out that petrol prices and fuel prices are now the highest that they have ever been. An all-time high on the 25th of October of £142.94p, 142p, sorry, so £1.42p per litre, breaking a record that stood for 9 years. So that's given to us by the RAC Fuel Watch. It's an interesting job.
Fingers on the pulse, RAC. Thanks very much.
Yeah, thanks for that. Yeah. So if you want to know what the previous high was, then the previous high was, as we say, 9 years ago, was 142p 0.48. 142.48p. £1.42 and 48 pence. Oh, it's weird, isn't it? Where's the point? I've never paid a point anything. But a key driving force behind the rising fuel prices is the increase of the cost of crude oil, which has risen from about 29 quid a barrel in October last year to 61 quid a barrel. So that's probably a lot to do with it. It costs more to get the stuff that makes the stuff that goes in your car. They're also blaming, they've also cited the introduction of the new greener E10 petrol, claiming that the extra ethanol in the fuel, which is 10% rather than 5% in the standard fuel, adds a pence per litre to the production costs, which is obviously handed over to the consumer. So the beautiful news there that we are now paying a record high for our fuel from the pumps.
Yeah. Probably a surprise to absolutely nobody. It wouldn't shock me if next week these numbers have gone up again.
Me too.
As well. The price of unleaded has now risen about 28 pence in a year, adding around £15 to the cost of filling up your average family car. That is a big jump. I'm not going to get on my soapbox about this, but I clearly am. I'm limbering up so I can step up here. The last time petrol was this high, oil was about $138 a barrel. Now it's only $80. So the pound is slightly lower against the dollar, but not by much. There's a lot of profiteering going on somewhere here. And it's no great surprise. We're paying record prices when it's about 59p a litre in fuel duty, and then we're charged 20% VAT on top of it. Obviously, today's budget day. Thanks very much. Everything. And yeah, it'd be quite nice if some of the bigger retailers were to bring the amounts down that they're putting on every litre at the pumps. Everyone pleads poverty, but eventually it's you and I that pay, buddy.
Yeah, this is it. I'm paying. It's ridiculous. My soapbox, I'm going to avoid it, but it is, it is going to cripple. It is already crippling people that need to use their cars. I mean, 15 quid on an average more, that is not a small amount of money. And then if you're filling your car up on average once a week, say, I mean, 60 quid is first of all, an entire tank of fuel, depending on your car. And secondly, holy smeg. Like, that is so much, like you say, and oil isn't even as expensive as it was last time that this was a thing. So, to anybody listening in a position of power, or just can you give us a break, please, for the love of...
Well, we're
mercy?
Ballparking. That's over 720 quid a year.
Mm-hmm.
That is not cheap to anyone's pocket.
No. No.
Yeah.
It really isn't. And we're sorry to have to bring you such cruddy news, but it's important that we all understand that we are being taken for a ride here. And I appreciate things cost money. I appreciate there's been issues with logistics. I appreciate that the price of oil has gone up. And I appreciate that we all ran out and bought it. And now we're just happy to have it when it's there. So we'll pay whatever it is. But sod off. That's all I've got to say to that.
Simple, yeah. It's the kind of the classic rip-off Britain.
Unfortunately, it does seem to happen, doesn't it? But anyway, there's an easy way around the fuel issue in terms of petroleum and the such like, and that is to drive cars that don't use it. Less said about energy cost, the better, but something very exciting and very electric has come out of India this week.
A conch in the Indian scriptures signifies the beginning of the divine light. For us, a conch signifies our real beginning, where for the first time design and innovation come together. It's our first vehicle that's alive. We deeply studied how humans and animals regulate their body temperatures to create a technology that's the first of its kind. Our battery construction and material innovation enables batteries to breathe directly through the air seamlessly. A conch is the first car that breathes. The character of the car is as mechanical and as pure as an electric car can be. A conch car means we're all one. This technology is for us to share with the world for a smoother future.
Now, there's been a lot of electric cars that have been released over the last few years. So a question you might be asking yourself is, why is this so special and so revolutionary? Well, not only is it the lightest EV ever and the fastest car that the country has ever produced out of India, as you might have heard there, it is the first car that breathes. So what does that mean? Well, the firm says that the technology named DECO is based on biomimicry used by animals to regulate their body temperatures through breathing. So at 738 kilograms, thanks to a body made completely of carbon fiber, the Ukonk has a power output of 722 brake horsepower, top speed of 192 miles per hour, and a 0 to 62 time of 2.5 seconds. The car, as seen there, tested in the prototype form, so it's currently prototype, at the Natrax high-speed track near Indore in India. We don't know if this is going to go into full production, but the technology seen in this model will be implemented in the new production version of the Shul, which is the actual car, if you like, being produced by the firm. Isn't this a little bit exciting, isn't it?
Have you ever tried Indian whiskey?
Probably not.
No, I had the displeasure of it at the Edinburgh Whisky Stramash a good few years ago. I think distilled straight from the waters of the Ganges is probably the best way I could describe it, and I just really hope their cars aren't this bad. It kind of looks cool, but it looks a little bit like a hole punch from the world of Tron. Very smooth, very futuristic. The multiple kind of rear strip lights are really cool. But it's kind of course, it's light. There's no roof. There's no windscreen. It's a single-seater car, short wheelbase. Carbon fiber, very light. So there's no kind of magic innovation here. It's just kind of application of massive weight-saving measures. I like the idea that it's breathable, very kind of cool power sourcing side of things with liquid cooling system, but I'm just not really getting excited about it. I'm sorry.
Fair enough.
Sorry, buddy.
I'm also not very excited about it. But I'm excited about the innovation. I think this is what gets me. You know, I like the fact when someone does something different, I enjoy affording it at least the time of day that we are doing. I think we're giving it a fair crack at the whip, it's fair to say. Yes, no wonder it's light. It's a skateboard. And it's... I don't think we'll ever see it in I don't think we'll see it or anything that it's associated with in the European market anytime soon. But, ladies and gentlemen, isn't it interesting that new technologies are being thrown our way all the time to innovate? So tell us what you think of that. I'm not going to harp on about it too long because it's not really worth it. Car with very little on it is light, is not really a headline as far as I'm concerned.
Yeah. We're not going to sell many newspapers there. Let's be fair.
No, exactly. Yeah. Newspapers aren't going to come along there. But there we go. Tell us what you think. One of the lightest cars, electric cars ever to be made, and the single quickest car to come out of India. Bearing in mind, the Indian automotive industry is actually responsible for quite a lot of the cars that come out in the world, including Jaguar Land Rover, owned by Indian firm Tata. So just worth remembering. Away from electricity, we move on to what has been quite the exciting British Touring Car Championship. So this weekend just gone, we had the final 3 rounds of the British Touring Car Championship. It looked before we went in that Mr. Ash Sutton was going to win, and guess what? He did. Ash Sutton there, Laser Tools Racing with Team Hard in his Infinity. Congratulations, 3rd championship overall. 2nd with Laser Tools, 2nd in a row. Basically, he ran away with it in the end. It was quite tight going into Brands Hatch, but in the end, it was comfortably his. He won it in round 29, which was the 2nd to last race. And thus ends the final British Touring Car season with a standard internal combustion engine. Next year, we see the hybrid coming in. So that'll add an extra 50 or 60 kilos to every single car. Be interested to see how that one goes. But many congratulations to Mr. Sutton. I have sat in your car while it was in the garage. It was comfortable. Cheers, mate. But thus pretty much ends the domestic British motorsport season to all intents and purposes. So many congratulations, and we'll see what next year has in store, both for that gentleman and the championship in its entirety, because it looks like with most seasons, chops and changes and things will be different, drivers ins and outs and all that kind of thing. There's a couple of drivers that have been signed to 2-year deals that we know will still be there. So Mr. Jack Goff at Team Hard, for example, we know he's going to be there. Aaron Taylor-Smith at Team Hard, we know he's going to be there. Tom Ingram, we know he's going to be there. We imagine Colin Turkington will still be there, Oliphant as well. So WSR keeping the core of their team together. But everything else is near enough up for grabs. But we will see.
Yeah, brilliant weekend. And kind of poor Josh Cook kind of slightly overshadowed a wee bit, winning 2 races. But the day definitely did belong to Ash, as well as kind of claiming the overall title. He getting the independent driver's crown. Laser getting the Outright Team Award. Absolutely fantastic. Our good friend Rowbottom getting the fastest lap as well. There was a lot going on. It really was. A few kind of safety car deploys as well. Friend of the show, Lewis Hamilton, going off into the gravel at points as well. So a lot happening. A nice way to kind of close the curtain on the British car season. Fair play.
Yeah, there was a lot went on this weekend. You kind of feel it when it's the last weekend of the season. Lots of the drivers kind of a little bit more gung-ho than they might otherwise have been, because they don't need to protect the car for the next weekend. You've got a nice long break now. So why not kind of make a move that you might not otherwise have made? I can see the logic in that. But yes, it was a cracking end of the season. A deserved winner. I don't think it was ever in doubt after round 3, really. Just has the best car, and he's one of the best drivers in the world, I think, personally. So
Agreed.
There we have it. Ash Sutton, many congratulations for your 3rd title. Well in, son. How do you think the BTC season has gone? Tell us in the comments. Who would you like to see racing in the championship next year behind the wheel of a hybrid touring car for the first time ever? But with all those championships taking place and with a host of championships decided, it's always difficult to try and keep up to date. But no longer, because there is this.
Results Hub. All motorsport results, all in one place. And now there's an app. Take results with you on the go as we bring you the latest standings from championships around the world. And there's more. Use the app to see who is racing and where with our handy calendar feature. Download the app now. Results Hub. All motorsport results, all in one place.
That's right. All motorsport results, all in one place, thanks to Results Hub. We love it, don't we?
We do, yeah. And this was exactly how I kept up to date at the weekends with everything. I wasn't able to watch, so being able to kind of keep abreast of where everybody was absolutely fantastic. So easy, and my handy calendar feature just made it even so fantastic.
There you go. You see, it's worth it. Go and download it, please. Thank you, and good night. Only joking. It's not the end of the show, but it is the end of the segment. What time is it?
Time to TikTok, people.
It is time to TikTok. Every single week, every single leak. Well, yeah, I mean that too. Every single week, we scour the internet. Yeah. Well, this is it. Every single week, we scour the internet for the latest in the world of wrist-wearing fashion, technology, and general luxuriousness to bring you the latest of the news from the watch world. And this week, we are bringing you this from the lovely team at Casio. think I speak for all of us. Yeah. I think I speak for all of us when I say, chill out, mate. All right. That's what have you?
Will it survive when I fall over after the pub? That's the question.
Yeah, exactly. What have we just witnessed there, other than a Bear Grylls type of chap running around making us all look bad for not wanting to get muddy? So this is the new G-Shock Mudmaster lineup. So it's not just what you see there. There's a host of them. So it's got a slimmer case and a slimmer case that's made of forged carbon. The lineup is between £325 and £699. There's a couple of special editions in there as well. You might have seen that young man use a number of the features, including compass, step counter, altimeter, barometer, and super illuminator, so you can see it in the dark. I think it's for outdoorsy types. What do we think of this?
You know what? We've come a long way from the G-Shock jellies of the 1990s, haven't we? I am a real sucker for a carbon case, but for me, real G-Shocks don't have hands. I don't know about you. I always just remember there being proper digital ones for us here. It is the true sports adventure watch that we probably don't feature that often on TikTok as well. We'd speak in the past of, oh yes, you can go diving this Omega down to about 4,000 meters, but yeah, we're not gonna unless you totally forget to take it off. It is for people that work and play in extreme environments. It is mud, rubble, dirt, debris, all resistant. And you know what? Mud resistance, at the size and the price of it, I'd hope it'd be able to resist a small yield nuclear weapon. All the features are awesome. I think we should just basically call this the MacGyver. For the kind of the money, I still want to stop myself in saying it, but it's only a Casio. Or am I being really mean?
I think you're being mean.
I know Casio helped you through your GCSE maths exam with a wee calculator that nobody knew that you had. But
yeah,
I don't know.
I'll tell you what the problem with this watch is for me, and it's not a problem with the watch. It's the lifestyle that it's promoting. It's. Do you know what? I don't know a single human being personally who does the stuff that this geezer's just run around done. Because
no way.
I just don't, and therefore, I mean, and that might give you a bit of an insight. I don't do this kind of stuff either. So,
sorry, should we pause for shock there?
Yeah, I know, right? I agree with the shouldn't have hands. That weirds me out. I just think I'm not the demographic for this. Although I am enjoying immensely what Casio are doing with G-Shock in general at the moment. There's some incredible stuff. At some point on the show, we will show you the Rick and Morty version of this. Which so Casio and G-Shock have teamed up with Warner Brothers or whoever it is, Adult Swim or whoever that do Rick and Morty, and there's a Rick and Morty themed G-Shock, which that's more my speed. But yeah, I just you know what, £300, £400, whatever it is for as you start to enter into this, fine. I can see the use in it. I understand the price tag is because it is pretty much a smartwatch. Like, I get that. It does all these things. It's not really a fashion accessory. It is a tool, which, I understand and appreciate, but not for me.
Yeah.
Not for me. Sorry, guys. Sorry. Lovely watch. Not for us.
What strangely negative TikTok.
I know. I mean, I like it. I just don't ever want to own one, ever.
Or need to own one.
I don't, and I don't need, do you know what? That's a really good way of putting it. It shows that I at least am fashion over function, because for me, a timepiece is purely that. You don't need a watch to tell the time anymore. So I guess this is kind of more in that realm where you've got yourself something that will help you know how high up you are with your altimeter and what the weather's going to be with your barometer. Great, good job. Tell us what you think, though. As you can tell, this is a miss from us, only because we wouldn't buy it, although I do appreciate it for what it is. We're not interested. Other G-Shocks in the range, 100% yes for me. This one, the Mudmaster, not for me, I'm afraid. But tell us what you think of this new urban, non-urban mix-up that is the is a G-Shock Mudmaster. But I'm all right. Thanks very much. Good night with that one. That was negative. But to bring it back around, should we do some information?
Oh, go on. We like to inform as well as entertain.
We do.
Sometimes neither.
Sometimes, yeah. Sometimes neither. Yeah, exactly. So news this week out of the people that count things. For the first time ever, an EV is the best-selling car model in Europe, and it was the Tesla Model 3, sold more even than the Volkswagen Golf. So it was the top-selling vehicle in Europe last month, which, as we record, is September. Had to think about that. And it's the first time ever that an electric car has outsold rival models with gasoline engines. Outsold Clios, Golfs, well, everything. Obviously, that's why it was the top-selling vehicle in Europe last month. It's also the first time that a car made outside of Europe has claimed the region's top spot. So the first time a non-European model has been the top-selling car in Europe. Tesla shipped 24,500 Model 3s to customers in September, and that is a 58% increase from the same time last year. Interesting news or irrelevant? What do we think?
No, very interesting news. I must admit, much to my surprise, given availability and cost differences, there's still a bit of a grim backdrop out here with the vehicles, car sales across Europe right now. Obviously, we've still got issues with the semiconductor shortages, crimping production, delays in shipping, and also remember there's going to be a lot of the idea of the UK car market with the new car registration plates coming out. There's going to be delays and things like that for us as well. But yeah, that's still a heck of a lot of Teslas that have been shipped. And global superpower Elon Musk has set an annual sales growth target of 50% on average, eventually reaching 20 million vehicles a year. Now, that would be more than twice the volume of the current leaders of Volkswagen and Toyota. Those are big numbers.
They're massive numbers. They're massive numbers. And to be fair, it's all really quite impressive considering Tesla are only really, 11 or 12 years old in terms of doing stuff
barely over
like
a
this.
decade, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it just goes to show if you've got a decent model and you know what you're going for, then you can hit these things. I wouldn't be surprised if they hit those numbers he's talking about.
Yeah, and obviously governments are offering very generous incentives to entice buyers away from the old combustion engine side of things, fully electric plug-in hybrids. These kind of cars made up around 23% of the market in September. That's nearly double what they were in 2020. Obviously, the world being what it was in 2020. But this has come in leaps and bounds. We're no longer at a day where we're kind of scoffing at somebody buying a fully electric car.
It's not the weird thing that it once was, right?
No, I think the slowly but surely, the infrastructure is getting in place as well. I can now name a lot more places where I can potentially charge my car. Mm-hmm. Whereas 18 months ago, 2 years ago, I'd be saying, oh God, I think there's one there, maybe. Are we a bit more aware of these things now because our mindset's changing? Entirely possible. But with the other cars featured on the list, other than the Tesla, it's really just a collection of fairly uninspiring hatchbacks and crossovers for me. Ones like the Renault Captur, the Peugeot 208, the Vauxhall Corsa, and the Renault Clio. But there's a lot of cars that have... Thank you. I've been wanting to get that kind of crowbarred into the show for weeks now.
You've got to be a certain age to remember that.
I'll be quiet.
It's great advert.
I bet she's old now. God, that's depressing.
Oh,
This lovely little French young lady kind of running around. Looking
Early
for a car.
90s, wasn't it?
Oh,
That
oh,
advert?
easily early 90s. Aye.
Cleo, Papa.
I reckon I must have been in primary school. Oh, that's depressing. Thanks, mate.
Yeah,
Appreciate that.
sorry, you're all right.
I think it was in colour. I want to say that. But,
well, even then. No, but you're right. You know, most people buy things that are functional. Not everyone's going to be, like me and go and be responsible for most of Alfa Romeo's sales over the last decade. So there's definitely that point. It isn't surprising. What surprises me isn't the fact that that an EV is now topping the sales charts. It's that it's a Tesla. Because I don't get it. I don't get it. I don't know why you'd get a Tesla. I think now, bearing in mind, these are all opinions that I formed years ago when I first started driving a Model S about for pits and gigs. But I don't get it. ID3, get an ID3, get an ID4. Like
two words for you, mate. Status symbol.
Yeah,
a Tesla
probably
still turns ahead. If I see a Tesla just parked or going past me, you still usually want to say, I want to look inside and see a larger than laptop screen sat in your car. They are still very cool. And it's the waiting list that a lot of them still have. There's the desirability there. That's people's buying habits are never going to change in that manner. Whether it's a phone, a car, any kind of latest gadget out there, keeping up with the Joneses or surpassing the Joneses is what you're wanting.
You are 100% correct. That is all it
As
is.
always. That's how I get on this show.
Car people don't buy Teslas. Tesla people buy Teslas, and that's the reality of it. But tell us in the comments, are you surprised that an EV is the most popular vehicle across Europe for September? Are you surprised that it's a Tesla 3 that is the most popular model of car in general? But either way, you're all going out and buying them, and don't talk to me if you've got one, basically, is how I feel about that. Sorry, guys, but that is how I feel, and you can't tell me otherwise. Back to the world of hatchbacks, as you mentioned quite rightly there. The UK Civic Cup came to its crescendo this weekend just past. We were lucky enough to be supporting the Civic Cup, the Miltech Sport Civic Cup, at Snetterton Race Circuit on Sunday, where we saw the Production Cup and Cup class champions crowned. 4 races took place on Sunday, but don't let me tell you about it. Let me tell you about it. Welcome to the final weekend of the 2021 Miltech Sport Civic Cup. Wow, if it isn't a brand new starter, first time out, you've done quite well.
That's a decent result, and hopefully more for the same later on.
Yeah, absolutely, more to come. Well, I'll let you get off and get a bacon sarnie. We might be here at Snetterton, but believe it or not, the season has gone on for a couple of rounds, and last time out we were at Brands Hatch, where Ben Sharp was the co-ord sport driver of the day. So we're here with 2021 champ, which rhymes nicely, doesn't it, with Alistair Camp. How's it feeling?
Yeah, it feels good. Had a few issues today, but forget all the issues, it's been worth it. And thank you to everyone that has literally been here for me this year.
And there we have it. The 2021 Miltech Sport Civic Cup Championship draws to a close here at Snetterton. And what incredible racing. Finished on a bumper day, 4 races with champions crowned. Well done to every single competitor. And of course, thanks to everybody who's watched the championship, both at home and at circuits up and down the country. Thank you ever so much. And we shall see you in 2022. God, that host was good looking. Yes, so congratulations from everybody here.
It's amazing what the camera can do, yeah.
It is amazing. Yeah, exactly. As I said when I picked up my complimentary Goodyear Maximum Motorsport jacket, the camera adds £10, and I've had lots of them pointed at me over the years, so let's make it a big one.
Did I get a jacket as well?
No, sorry. And to be honest, I had to give it back at the end of filming.
What?
Yeah.
So go on eBay, people. There's a second-hand jacket.
Yeah, worn by me and Paul O'Neill.
Oh, there you go.
Worn by me and Paul O'Neill. I believe that was the jacket he wore. He wore it better than I shall be honest.
Celebrity dandruff. There we go.
Yeah, exactly. But a big congratulations to Mervyn Beckett, who won the Production Cup Production Class Cup, and to Alistair Camp, who won the Cup class. Alistair Camp, who may be appearing in TCR UK next year. Here's hoping. But well done to everybody. And thank you, of course, to the Miltech Sport Civic Cup. There we go. Got there in the end. For having us in. And our team, of course, expert team behind the scenes, producing 13 separate bits of content throughout the course of the day that went out to fans at home and at the circuit alike. It was a really busy day.
Phenomenal race, Snetterton, and I was so jealous that you were there to see it all. Phenomenal, mate.
Yeah, it's what happens.
Morgan Bailey taking a couple of victories as well. David Marshall, I understand he's not Scottish Bully one, taking his maiden victory, but what a great series it's been. Looking forward to 2022 already. Fantastic.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, cracking racing. Multiple race winners, multiple podiums. Morgan Bailey had a cracking day. Davey Marshall, Northern, a bit of a Geordie man. First time out, started on pole, qualified on pole, and won all 3 races. Unbelievable. Real. Do you know what? Lovely grid. Spoke to a lot of them across the course of the day, and the camaraderie where teams helping teams when something went wrong, helping each other out from a mechanical perspective or parts. Like, it just doesn't. You see it up and down the motorsport world, but to see it firsthand was a real pleasure, and everyone was so lovely to us here at Is It Fast as we were there helping them out and just cracking. And Snetterton, what a lovely circuit, I must say. It was really good. Proper salt of the earth, I think they describe it as. Proper salt of the earth racing. It was really good. So congratulations to everybody for making the championship happen. And congratulations, of course, to our 2 champions. But we finished this week with something that couldn't be further away from Norfolk. Next week, the Rolls-Royce Black Badge, which is traditionally Rolls-Royce's performance models, is back, and they have teased us with, and this is very 2021, they've teased us with an NFT, and it looks a bit like this. So this is super hard to describe, man. But
yeah, I must admit, I watched this and then I kind of thought, oh, I've clicked on the wrong link. I've got the wrong video.
No, you're right.
That's normally my excuse for a lot of stuff I look at on the internet. But this time I was right. Yeah.
Yeah, this is so on the 29th of October, which is this Friday as we go out. Black Badge, the next chapter in its remarkable history, is going to be confirming a new model added to the lineup. I imagine it's going to be the new Phantom. We'll have a Black Badge variant. I don't know. That's the only thing I can think of. Cullinan's got one. Phantom presumably will have one as well. This is odd as heck. I mean, when you look through the animation for clues, but I can't see any. That's Phantom there. I think it's not Ghost, is it? So,
well, I thought it very much resembling the Ghost for it. Obviously, you're seeing little kind of tinges of like light neon blue trim on the edge. So obviously, telling us it's electric, possibly. I'm all for a teaser trailer, but this really just made me want to kind of order from Spirit Sushi. I was the cartoon neighborhood does look a little bit dodgy. I was wanting them to pan back to kind of find the car up on bricks as well there, but I've genuinely seen kind of better animation creations using fuzzy felts. This is meant to be for Rolls-Royce people. I'm kind of lost, on here. I know Friday will reveal all for us, but hey, how upgraded brakes, power, suspension, bespoke interiors, generally styled with darker colours, and obviously it's going to be heavily personalised per car. How the other half get driven about, eh?
Yeah, I'm with you. I don't really get it. And to be fair, it's probably not for me. Then you look at things like the infinity symbol there above above the door and all these other kind of things. And you go, okay, well, I can, this is very Rolls-Royce. I'm excited for the black. I like the Black Badge editions. As a rule, I just don't get this kind of weird teaser announcement, and I bet it cost $1 bazillion to develop this animation. Because let's be honest, that's kind of what I would do.
The couple schnecken in the bar doorway, they look like they're having a great time. So fair play to them.
Yeah, they're having a good go at it. But there we go.
They're not married.
No way. But there we have it. The Rolls-Royce Black Badge was kind of teased, and we're going to know on Friday, the 29th of October, what they're actually talking about. My money is a Black Badge version of the Phantom. But we shall see. But that does bring us to the end of another week, where we have hopefully taken you on a journey of discovery. If not a journey of discovery, then a journey of light entertainment as we hand pick the stories from the automotive, motorsport, and everything in between world and bring them to you live on Wednesdays at 7 p.m. If you've enjoyed what you've watched, then please do follow us on your social media platform of choice. Head to our website and indulge in some of that dumb knuckery as you go around. But essentially, thank you as always for tuning in, whether you're using your ears or using your eyes to follow the latest handpicked news that we think is the best. But tell us in the comments, what did you think? What has excited you about what is coming up next? What do you think, of course, of the brand new Range Rover? What an absolute winner. And a big well done to all our champions. This was a show of champions as well as a show of luxury. MotoGP winners, Civic Cup winners, British touring car winners. It's just luxury and winning tend to go together. But thank you as always for tuning in. Thank you as always, Other Stew, for keeping us on the straight and the nada. And we shall catch you next week right here on Is It Fast?